The Empath and the Narcissist. It is a tale as old as time, and it is a topic that comes up in almost every single one of my coaching calls. It is something that I want to talk about today because it is a pattern I see often. So today's episode is all about why the empath and the narcissist have to have a journey together in order for the empath to evolve and become the goddess that she came here to be. Let's dive in. If we haven't met before, I'm Sana. I am a feminine energy and embodiment coach, and I empower ambitious women to slow down and tap into the flow of their menstrual cycle with the moon cycle and with Mother Nature so that they can use the power of the universe to step into their highest self. If you want to know about how to become your highest self in a new way where that doesn't involve the hustle, it doesn't involve bro marketing tactics, it doesn't involve playing manipulative games, hit the subscribe because my channel is all about helping you find a peaceful and harmonious way to creating your own heaven on earth. So if you identify as a highly sensitive person, you feel your emotions deeply, you most likely are an empath. And what an empath is somebody who is just a little different than the rest of the world. And I used to think that this was a bad thing because I always used to feel like, why can't I just be normal? Why do I let things get to me? Why do I cry so easily? Why do I feel so deeply? Until I learned that having access to my emotions is actually a freaking gift. Like, there's so many robots in this world that are just coasting and going through life on autopilot, clocking in, clocking out, and not even appreciating the joy and the magic that we have in this world. For me, yes, as an empath, I feel deeply, I feel pain deeply, and the bad times can be really bad, and it's easy for me to spiral into anxiety or depression. However, as I've learned emotional alchemy, I've learned that my emotions are always guiding me. They are my North Star. Have such a beautiful relationship with my emotions. It wasn't always that way. So today I want to dive into the story of the empath and the narcissist. Why does it happen? And what can the empath learn from this relationship? So a lot of people attract narcissistic partners, especially if you're an empath. An empath is somebody whose energy is activated. You are tapped into your emotions. You have activated your 7 chakras, which is why you're able to feel your emotions because you're most likely tapped into your body. If you think you're an empath, but you haven't tapped into your feelings yet, I would start there. I used to numb my feelings all the time because I thought having feelings was a negative trait, especially because my husband didn't really know how to navigate my emotions, and I always thought that I was being dramatic or I was being too much and I needed to numb my emotions in order to have peace in the house. I learned now that is totally wrong and not the way to do it. I am responsible for my emotions, and it is up to me to approach my husband with clarity around what I'm feeling so that he can actually hear what I'm saying. What I was doing before is I was expecting him to be responsible for my emotions, and he would just get lost in the chaos with me. So luckily for me, my husband was not the narcissist in my life. My narcissist was my family, my siblings, my parents. I had to break free from them in order to find peace in my life. So let's talk about the empath and the narcissist. Why does this relationship exist? What is the purpose of it? And is it necessary for an empath to go through in order to become the goddess that she came here to be? And the answer to that, unfortunately, is yes. The reason it happens is because, one, if you're an empath, you are most likely somebody who's tapped into your emotions and your 7 energy centers, which are your chakras. And that means that you are more vibrant and alive. So your light is brighter than that of people who are not empaths and who don't feel deeply and who are just on autopilot roaming through life. If you are somebody who feels deeply, your aura is just naturally going to be brighter. Not that everybody can see an aura, but souls can. So what a narcissist is, it's kind of like a moth to a flame. So the narcissist feels incredibly unfulfilled and empty. So in order to fill up their own cup, they go after the bright lights of the world. And that only is possible if the empath doesn't feel empowered within her own self to identify a narcissist when she sees one. It's so normal that a narcissist love bombs the empath because they want to take your energy. And the empath finally feels purposeful, heard, seen, valued, loved. A big core wound for the empath is feeling unloved, neglected, abandoned, because she just doesn't fit into this world. This world was not made for empaths. The empath was made to change the world. So what happens is the narcissist wants that energy, trying to love bomb you and take your energy and then leave you depleted and empty. They are doing it subconsciously. They most likely are not very self-aware. A narcissist will never think that they're a narcissist. They're never gonna think that they are bad or evil, because if they did, then they wouldn't be a narcissist. So if you're with somebody who lacks self-awareness, lacks emotional intelligence, lacks empathy, and is just a person who cares about themselves and doesn't give a rat's butt about anyone or anything else, and they like to step on others in order to get ahead, or they, want to dim other people's light because it makes them feel powerful, those are all traits of a narcissistic person. What I'm seeing lately is that people think that everybody is a narcissist, and that's just simply not true. A lot of us think that, someone with strong boundaries is narcissistic or selfish or what have you. People think as soon as you're selfish, you're a narcissist. That's not true. Sometimes people need to be selfish or have strong boundaries because they have recovered from dealing with narcissists. So they're in a season right now where it's hard for them to have self-trust. So they're kind of guarded and they're not willing to open up to others yet. We're all on our own journey and our own paths, and it's okay for people to have seasons of wherever they're at, meet them where they're at, and instead of judging them, have curiosity. Do they seem like they're a decent human being that cares about others? How do they treat, blue collar workers? How do they treat waiters? How do they act in the world? Like, are they the type of person who's just anti-kindness? I think the biggest trait is identifying a narcissist versus just somebody who has strong boundaries is how kind are they? A narcissist basically doesn't have the capacity to care about anyone or anything outside of them. They're so empty inside, and they think that their self-love or their confidence is like making up for it, versus somebody who's rooted and grounded in their truth. Usually it's like a softer confidence. It's like a quiet confidence. Perfect examples is like somebody who wants to come off as being rich but isn't, is going to be someone who's really loud with their purchases and their status and their car and their this and their that, right? And their brands are going to be like louder logos, versus somebody who has strong boundaries. They're protecting themselves. They're usually not somebody who is going to be loud about what they have and what they possess. They're just going to be doing their own thing, minding their own business. They may show a nice thing here and there, but it's not the front and center of their content or their messaging or whatever they share on the internet. So the biggest way to tell if somebody is just guarded or a narcissist is how do they present themselves. Usually, if you're an empath, you can energetically feel, if you're in touch with your energy, you can feel like who's a phony and who's authentic. So that's a really good way to tell between a narcissist and somebody who is just a harder shell who is protecting themselves. Okay, so why does the narcissist and empath relationship need to happen? It's because as empaths, we come to Earth feeling like everything is hunky-dory, the world is magical, everybody is kind, everybody must be like us. And then reality hits where we realize that, oh, the world is actually not as glamorous and perfect and kind as we want it to be. If you don't learn from being hurt, you're not going to learn your lesson. And I know that this is so not fair, However, every time you go through that experience with a narcissist, ask anybody who has broken free from a narcissist and how free and magical and happy they are after that experience. It's because you learn so much about who you are, why you're here, what you're here to do. Come home to knowing that you don't need anyone or anything outside of you in order to feel fulfilled. So a narcissist and an empath are actually the two sides of the same coin. They're both feeling like they're empty and they need each other in order to feel fulfilled. This is why it ends up becoming such a on and off again, toxic, high and low relationship, because it's kind of like Batman and Joker, where they both kind of need each other in order to have a purpose. Like imagine Gotham not having any issues. What is Batman's purpose, right? So the empath, when you're not empowered in your own energy and you still feel voids in yourself, you're going to attract a narcissist because they're going to fill up that void in you. That's why you are addicted to that kind of a relationship, which is okay, like in the moment, as long as you have the awareness of being able to point out, oh, I'm repeating a pattern. That is the first step to being able to break a pattern. We can't change and break our patterns until we are able to identify and have a name for it. So that's why I really hope that this episode helps you see that, oh, okay, that's why I'm attracting narcissists, or that's why I am, not fulfilled, right? Like you're searching outside of you in order to have inner fulfillment. This is why like self-love is so important. And what happens is the empath finds the narcissist to be so attractive because what the empath deeply wants is love, yes, but more importantly, they're so attracted to somebody who is so full of themselves. They have so much confidence. They have something that you want for yourself. Have compassion for yourself. You're attracted to them because of a subconscious programming that you have yet to become aware of. So it's okay, long as you learn that, what you see in others, you have within yourself. What you admire in others is a sign from your own inner self of what you want to try to be or become. Let go of your insecurities to come back home to the natural way of who you are, which is somebody who is fully confident and embodied in their own self, radiant and vibrant and just attracting the right people into your life. That is the biggest lesson that an empath needs to learn through the relationship with a narcissist is, wow, they're so confident. They're attracting people that love them. Everybody loves them because they put on a really good facade. However, their facade starts coming down the more the empath starts to heal herself. So the more she starts to set boundaries and takes her power back from the narcissist gets activated, their true colors start to show. And that's what happened in my story, where my sister was like my main narcissist. She started to show her true colors, and my parents finally saw beyond the veil of she's not this perfect, giving, kind person, she's actually hurting me. So my parents were able to finally see that and understand that I'm not just being sensitive, there's a real issue here. And that's when my relationship with my parents started to shift, and they finally broke free from her control and started to see the truth, which set me free. The more the empath starts to heal and set boundaries, the more angry the narcissist becomes, because the narcissist has less control over the empath, and they start to feel like they're not getting that energy source anymore that they used to get when they had control over an empath. So they start to act out, they'll start to gather their troops and start to try to take you down. So this is usually what happens with like the flying monkeys, which is a term that is used a lot in therapy in the world of narcissism, where they have like groupies that just believe everything that the narcissist is saying, and they get onto the narcissist side. So they all go and attack the empath. And this is a big moment for the empath to either let that crumble her and send her into hiding, which happens a lot, or your biggest moment of growth here is that phoenix rising from the ashes moment, where you say, fuck the world, this is who I am, this is me, this is my truth, Nobody can take that away from me. Your story is your gold mine. Your story is valid. Your feelings are valid. Your experiences are valid. The biggest thing that I struggled with was thinking, is this all in my head? Like, am I just being sensitive? Am I like not seeing the truth? Am I clouded in my judgment? Are all these people that are saying that I'm the bad guy, is that true? And that happens, and it's so natural. And thank God I have my husband, who's a very clear-headed, level-headed, honest man, and he calls me out when I'm wrong. And he also holds space for me where he's like, no, babe, like they're not right. What they have done to you is not okay. How they treat you is not okay. How they talk to you is not okay. What they say about you behind your back is not okay. How they act when you're around or when you're not around is not okay. So having that reassurance for me is what helped me get out of that toxic situation and into peace and harmony and joy and confidence unlike I've ever had before, to know that even if I'm wrong, I'm just happier without a relationship with people who make me feel like I'm not worthy of the things that I desire, or that I'm crazy, or that I'm emotional, or that I'm this or that, right? So like if you have people in your life that make you feel like your feelings are not valid, your truth is not valid, I'd really question all of it. So like really pay attention to what you feel. Having a really strong support system around you with people that you trust is imperative, because it's so easy for the narcissist to gang up on you and team up with their flying monkeys and really try to destroy your confidence and destroy your light, because they get off on taking away other people's light. This is why it's so important for an empath to start journaling about what you're feeling, so that you can put pen to paper and start getting connected with your truth, with your emotions, with what you're going through, what you're experiencing, so that you can really start to see that it's not just in your head. And when I started to put it on paper and I started to list how I feel, what my relationship is like with my sister, with my brother, with my parents, it all started to become so clear. And it really helped me. It took me a year from the moment that I started to have hints that my sister might be a narcissist to actually having the confidence to be like, you know what? Yeah, she is. And even if she's not, I owe it to myself to have my distance from her, so that I can find my own path and find my inner peace and find my own truth and be devoted and rooted in love with myself, with my family, with my people, with my man, with my cats. Like, just detach. And once you detach physically, it takes time to detach energetically, because that energetic cord goes back eons, it goes back generations, it goes back through your ancestors' lineage, right? So you'll start to see, if you do plant medicine ceremonies, or if you have a way to connect with your ancestors in your own unique way, you start to have these conversations with them and be like, well, this is what I'm going through. And you start to really connect with your ancestors and see this pattern happen through generations. You know, my mom and her sister have the same exact dynamic, where my mom is, you know, the older sister. My aunt, who's the younger one, has always wanted a beautiful relationship with her. However, my mom just can't like do it. Like, she just like doesn't know how to be a good sister. And that sent my aunt through the ringer a lot. Like, my aunt's entire life has been all about getting my mom's approval, and she never got it. It happens through generations. Like, if you go back and ask your ancestors, you'll start to see the patterns, and you'll realize that, oh, what I'm experiencing is a rite of passage for me to break this generational cycle, so that I can actually set my soul free, set my lineage free, break this pattern. It stops with you, and having that as like your guiding light during those moments where you're questioning yourself and you're confused and you're lost and you're just wondering, why does life have to be so hard? Just remember that you are the chosen one who is here to break these generational patterns in your family's lineage, so that you can let go of all of these dark energies that are holding back the empaths in your family's lineage. The funny thing about this is, if you know anything about like soul contracts, if you access your Akashic records, my sister's soul and my soul are probably best friends in some other life, and they chose this contract. They knew that, like, okay, this is the role I'm going to play in your life. Let's go play the game. So when you see it as like, it's not personal, it's a game that your soul signed up for to play, you'll start to have a different relationship with all the people that have hurt you, because you'll see that, like, okay, this will happen because I'm here to learn this lesson. This happened because this is a soul contract that we came to play out in this lifetime so that we can break generational cycles. Like, everything has a rhyme or reason and a purpose. This isn't to say that your feelings aren't valid. This isn't to say that what you've experienced isn't as significant or that your trauma is not real. It is. And you can also see it as the path that is guiding you to align with the version of you that is radiant, that is confident, that is authentic, that is genuine, that is lighthearted, that is open-hearted, that is giving and kind, while still having firm boundaries, knowing how to protect your peace, knowing how to tell who's a positive influence for you and who's not, and knowing who to give your energy to and who not to. Being able to read energy is a huge gift for an empath. Having emotional intelligence is a huge gift for an empath. Being able to feel is a huge gift for an empath. So understanding that you wouldn't be able to activate your gifts if you didn't go through the darkness that allowed you to fight your inner demons and call your power back and activate your own inner life force, which is what you need to do in order to step into the work that you came here to do, whether it's to create content or create art or create a community or a business or whatever it is that your soul is wanting to do in this lifetime. You can't fully step into that role and that purpose until you are willing to clear the karmic loops and ties that your soul came here to heal and grow from. You can't ascend and grow if you still have these karmic ties holding you back to an old life. This is perfect timing for eclipse season that we're in. Is a perfect time to see, where am I being held back? Where is the energy still feeling leaky in myself? Who am I giving my power away to? These are patterns and signs to pay attention to see, like, who is the narcissist in your life. Say you don't have any narcissists anymore, but you still may have energy vampires in your life. Start to really pay attention to these things, because in order to be fully embodied in like your full essence and in your magnetism and just being able to manifest all of your soul's desires, you need to be able to do the shadow work and do the inner work and alchemize that pain into your power. Alchemize the feelings of like, why can't I be loved? Why can't I have love? This and that, to being like, you know what? I don't need love from people who I have to fight for love from. I'm going to be fully rooted and grounded in knowing that I am worthy of love, and then pull my energy back and see who sees me for the real me. Who am I attracting as just being my authentic self? And those are your people. You don't have to work incredibly hard in order to keep the people that are for you. If you're feeling like you're struggling with having to maintain a relationship, or you're the only one reaching out to somebody, or you're the only one putting in that effort, those people are not for you. They may be for you later, and you'll never know until you're willing to detach from these people and be fully grounded and rooted in knowing that you are so incredibly worthy of the love that you deeply desire. Because if you are able to give love like that to others, why would the universe not give that love back to you? But it can't give it to you if you are being desperate for that love from the wrong places, because then the universe is not going to be able to see your magnetism, your energy, your aura, your light. Your light is how the universe sees, oh, that's a bright light, I want to give her everything. It's energy. It's an equal match, right? So think about it in terms of science. If you are somebody who is dimming your light, being crushed by the people around you, not dreaming big, playing small, your aura gets smaller and smaller, your light gets smaller and smaller. But if you're somebody who starts to set boundaries against people that are draining your energy, if you start to feel empowered to leave the soul draining job, and you start to create art again and tap into joy, tap into peace, choose the things that light you up, choose you over pleasing others, your energy gets brighter, your aura gets brighter, and you look and feel more vibrant. And that's how you attract everything that you want, because the universe can see you. Make it easier for the universe to sense your energy by making sure your energy is being lit up and not being drained by the people that want your energy. So the narcissist in your life could be, a family member, it could be your ex-partners, it could be a current partner, it could be honestly a boss, it could be a friend, it could be anyone that sees your light, and you may think that they're like supporting you and loving you until they start to make these comments that are like, whoa, where did that come from? Whoa, why are they saying that? They'll like build you up to tear you down. So just be really mindful of that relationship, and know that the people that truly see you for the magical being that you are always going to make you feel really good about yourself. You're not going to have to question or doubt if they believe in you or if they want the best for you. They just will, and you'll feel it. And you're an empath, and your emotions are incredibly powerful. So tap into your emotions over the logic of your mind as much as you can, because that's where you get to be the most empowered version of you. I hope this episode was helpful for you. Like always, please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment below if this resonated at all. If you would like to embody the most magical version of you and tap into your passions and your joy and your purpose, hop into my container, Shakti Society. It is $222 a month. And what I offer is hands-on support for you to break free from anything and everything that is holding you back from shining your most radiant and vibrant light from the inside out, so that you can attract everything that you desire in this lifetime. Okay, guys, I'll see you next time.